I'm very excited because in this episode, I will show you 7 ways to turn your mind into your best ally. The power of the words we say to ourselves. Hi everyone! Welcome to Mind Untangling Podcast by Holistic Transformation Center, where you can find tips to improve your well-being, achieve your goals, and all things related to my RTT hypnosis practice. Hi, I'm Joanna Stibbs, Rapid Transformational Therapy Practitioner, hypnotist, medical assistant, and lover of nature, arts, and the human mind. I help high achievers like you unlock their full potential by removing the mental blocks that keep them stuck, unproductive, or unfocused. On my daily practice, I help my clients reach their personal best and get to that ever-elusive next level. If you're not sure why you're stuck, unmotivated, or not reaching your goals, you're in the right place. So let's get started. Guess what? This is my first ever episode. Yes! And I'm very excited because in this episode, I will show you 7 ways to turn your mind into your best ally. Did you know that this article was going to be all about procrastination? But a few weeks ago, I woke up as if I had been brainstorming with ideas throughout my sleep. It seemed like my mind was determined to let me know that my first blog article should be about the power of the words we say to ourselves. This will be a journey into our own inner voice, thoughts, and what is called self-talk. So what exactly is self-talk? Self-talk is the ever-present voice in our head, the words we say to ourselves, all the thoughts and stories we create about us, about others, about life and the world and all the things that happen around us. Conscious of it or not, out loud or internal, it is the monologue in our heads that accompanies us constantly throughout the day. Those words, stories, beliefs, thoughts have nothing to do with reality. We might believe it is the reality when in fact the meanings we put on things and the stories we tell ourselves are just that, stories. So those stories are distortions of reality. They are created by each of us through a filter or lens that we unconsciously built in the first 7 or 8 years of our lives. It becomes a blueprint of life, of ourselves, and a tendency and a habit of thinking that it's based on our personal experiences and on the subjective conditioning that we experienced when we were children. So the first thing I'd love to talk about is the concept of the cheerleader and the inner critic. Now, let's call the words that we say to ourselves that are positive, compassionate, encouraging, and uplifting the cheerleader. And on the other hand, the words that are self-defeating, negative, hurtful, judgmental, the inner critic. Of course, we all have used both at some point in our lives, but it's not like we only use one or the other. I invite you now to ask yourself, which one does your mind have the habit or tendency to use on a daily basis if left unchecked? Have you thought about it? Unfortunately, many of us go throughout life without ever even noticing that self-talk or being aware of our own thoughts until later in life, if ever even. They don't teach us emotional health in schools or the tools of self-awareness, which is rather unfortunate. Why is your self-talk so important, you ask? Negative self-talk can wreak havoc on our self-esteem. It can keep us trapped in negativity and close our minds from seeing things from a wider range of possibilities and solutions for our lives. It is widely associated with anxiety, stress, and depression, and therefore it can lead to mental illness. When chronic stress remains elevated over time due to negative self-talk, it can also have negative consequences on the physical body. It may result in an inability for the body to fight disease since it affects the immune system. It can contribute to digestive problems, sleep disturbances, and even cardiovascular disease since it raises blood pressure. If you could look at your body and see what cortisol does to your body, the inflammation it creates, you would understand how negative thoughts have a very physical result in our bodies. Negative thoughts can affect all areas of our lives, including our relationships with others. Everything starts with a single thought. Thoughts lead to feelings, feelings lead to behaviors, and behaviors lead to our outcomes in life. So the next time you think of achievements and goals, or even achieving health or well-being or any result you desire for your life, observe yourself closely and control the only thing you can ever control in your life, your thoughts. Those will lead you to feel how you want to feel, to behave and make choices that are aligned with your life goals, and ultimately attract those outcomes that you desire in your life. Even though negative thoughts can have a devastating effect in our lives and make us feel powerless, we can actually mindfully turn them around by challenging our inner critic as those thoughts emerge. So I'm going to show you now 7 ways to turn your mind into your best ally. Number 1, recognize there is a problem. As in anything in life, the first step for positive change and to remove unhealthy patterns from our life is to acknowledge them. It's the awareness and recognition that we may be giving too much energy and power to negative, detrimental thoughts and behaviors that affect us and those around us. We are all works in progress in life, okay? So without shame and adding to the acknowledgement and awareness necessary to start your healing journey, make sure you give a good dose of compassion and kindness towards yourself throughout the whole process, because that's what it is. It's a process, okay? Number 2, desire and commitment. It's not enough to know you may have a problem. You need to have the desire to be better, to feel better, to grow into a better person, to have better relationships. It doesn't work if it's someone else seeing it and telling you to change because of this or that. No, that doesn't work. You need to want it. Therefore, desire and commitment to improve is an essential step. 3, knowing the types of automatic negative thoughts or ANTs, A-N-Ts. To turn your mind into your best ally and cheerleader is to be aware of your inner critic or ANTs as they arise. So as the name indicates, they are automatic, meaning they will come up in our minds when we least expect it, without any warning. And our ANTs or ANTs are often related to a distortion in the way we think, a cognitive distortion that we may or may not be aware of. The more you practice recognizing your ANTs, the easier it is to challenge them and your inner critic and flip those thoughts around into more beneficial thoughts. You'll become more aware of yourself and slowly your cheerleader will start showing up more and more for you. This list will help you recognize some of them. So take a moment to see if you have a tendency toward any of them. All or nothing thinking. Seeing things as black or white and using absolutes. I always mess everything up, or I never do anything right. Another one is overgeneralizing. Drawing global conclusions from single facts. Examples of that are, she left me, everyone will end up leaving me. I'm so boring. Another one is discounting the positive. Not giving positive events the same importance or weight as the negative thoughts. An example of that is saying that they were just being nice, so they look good. They don't really care about me. Another one is jumping into conclusions. You come to negative conclusions without any evidence to support it. Mind reading is one of them. You assume people are reacting negatively to you. Example is saying, he thinks I'm an idiot. Another one is fortune telling. You predict that things will turn out badly. You say to yourself, this will never work. Another type of ANT is magnification, catastrophizing, or minimizing. blowing bad things out of proportion or minimizing the good things. An example would be, what if the meeting with my boss doesn't go well? I'll end up fired and losing my house, or that doesn't count. I was just lucky. Emotional reasoning. You reason from your emotions as if they were reality. I feel unlovable, therefore I must be unlovable. Should statements. You criticize yourself and others with shoulds, shouldn'ts, oughts, or musts. An example of that would be, you should be perfect because mistakes are unacceptable. And labeling and mislabeling. You label yourself based on a single event. I'm stupid because I failed the math test. Personalization is when you attribute the entire blame for an event or situation on yourself. Someone is struggling and you say to yourself, I should have tried harder and done better. Then the next step on making your mind into your best ally is 4. Challenge and replace your negative thoughts. Our self-talk is one of the most powerful self-care tools that exist. We can and should be using it to our advantage in well-being. As you see a negative thought arise in your mind, question it. Analyze if it makes any sense or how useful it is to think those thoughts. How do those words or images that you put in your mind help you or serve you in any way? Then replace those negative thoughts by challenging them and changing them into a more neutral or positive opposite. The best way to counteract negativity in your inner critic is to reverse those thoughts into their opposite. This will not only neutralize the negative thought more effectively, but it starts getting your mind into the habit of powerfully questioning your automatic thoughts, which lead you to more positive thinking. It is important to understand that this does not mean denial of feelings or emotions. Those still need to be acknowledged and felt. Should never be suppressed through toxic positivity, which doesn't allow us to honor and validate our emotions. They still need to be felt and processed as if a wave that passes through us comes and goes. Do that exercise now. Think of a negative thought that you have observed yourself thinking in the past, or something negative you constantly tell yourself. Think of what is the exact opposite of that and tell it to yourself over and over and over again until you feel better and more encouraged. 5, practice gratitude. Whether it is through journaling or through thoughts, the practice of gratitude is extremely powerful. It has shown to have healing properties in the body and reduce stress levels and anxiety. You simply cannot feel stressed while you feel grateful. They do not coexist at the same time in the brain. The chemistry of gratitude has the capacity to completely remove the feelings and the chemistry of stress in our bodies. Gratitude soothes and calms your body and mind, activating the parasympathetic nervous system, the one responsible for rest and digest. That's the part of the nervous system that allows us to be calm, relaxed, and to feel safe. After normal daily peaks of stress, a healthy nervous system always comes back to safety. So practicing gratitude is a great way to trigger the parasympathetic. So we can easily come back into coherence and calm down again. Gratitude also allows you to get to the habit of scanning your environment to see good things, to see positive things. They are everywhere. Our human minds very easily fall into noticing the bad and the negative. So we have to purposely and mindfully remind ourselves to look that the good is everywhere around us, that there's just so much for us to be grateful for. 6, be patient and consistent on your practice. Change like this doesn't happen overnight. It is a work in progress. So be kind to yourself and understand that it's not about being perfect. It's about improving every day. The process of challenging your thoughts should be non-judgmental and patient towards oneself. No self-blaming, shaming, or putting down. That defeats the purpose of positive self-talk. So the idea is to talk to yourself as your cheerleader, as your best friend. The most important words you'll ever hear in your whole life and with the most impact on your health, well-being, and feelings and behaviors and outcomes in life will be the words that you tell yourself. 7, ask for help. Very often it becomes extremely challenging to change our habit of thinking on a conscious level. That's why we tend to so easily fall into the same type of patterns. So don't be disheartened if that happens. There are effective methods like rapid transformational therapy, RTT, hypnosis, that can tap into your subconscious to challenge core life beliefs about yourself, others, and life, and change once and for all those feelings of anxiety, desperation, and the belief that you don't have the power to change things. You certainly do have that power, and there are professionals that can help you make that change happen faster. Some beliefs we have about ourselves are so powerfully ingrained in our subconscious since childhood that only consciously being aware of our negative thoughts and trying to talk ourselves out of it may simply not be enough. That awareness practice is still essential, of course, but would definitely benefit from deep subconscious hypnotic work, where the root cause of that belief can be found, reframed, and replaced with ideas and thoughts that better serve the person's life goals. I hope you enjoyed these 7 ways to turn your mind into your best ally. I'm so thankful for you to have heard me and listened to this podcast. I'm very grateful for you. And remember that in the end, this is an ongoing practice to improve our lives, whether we use it in conjunction with therapy or not. The words we say to ourselves are incredibly important in how we feel. And if you don't like how you feel, change the words you say and think. Mindfully choose to make the cheerleader inside of you grow while you slowly watch your inner critic wither. Marisa Peer, world-renowned celebrity hypnotherapist, the one I had the pleasure to study directly with, creator of the RTT method, Rapid Transformational Therapy, says, we can either rationalize our problems or we can talk ourselves out of it. Every thought is a blueprint that your mind and body is working to make real. You can choose to be positive or negative, but you cannot choose what it does to your mind and body. So choose wisely. Below is a video in which Marisa Peer explores the concept of self-talk that I recommend everyone to watch. It's on the description for this episode. I also created some useful tools for you to download and use on your daily quest to improve your self-talk. So click the link below, add your name and email, and you'll be given access to a daily checklist to improve your self-talk and an automatic negative thought worksheet. Bye for now, and remember you have everything in you to overcome any challenge. I'm Joanna Esteves, and I'll see you here at Mind Untangling Podcast for my next episode.